Hi everyone, another voiceover with the T120 in the background. Sometimes I have to do a voiceover because of my time constraints and availability. But today what we're going to talk about is the growing popularity of videos of motorcycle riders with spoked wheels who are making their spoked wheels tubeless instead of having a tube, an inner tube, on the tyre. So what they're doing is they have standard spokes and they are filling in the standard spokes with some kind of resin on the inside of the rim, making the rim tubeless. I find it quite interesting because spoked, let's talk about, people have a thing. People have a thing for tubeless tyres. They seem to have a thing for tubeless tyres. I can understand that on sports bikes, such as Yamaha R6, GSX R600s, GSX R1000s, or the 750s or whatever. I can understand that. But when you go and buy a motorcycle with a spoked wheel, you can assume that it's got an inner tube on there. Sometimes, based on the configuration of the spokes, you can put a tubeless tyre on that wheel rim. Like some of the adventure bikes have that, yeah? But generally speaking, like the T120, it has an inner tube and a tyre over the inner tube. So when you pump up the tyre, you're pumping up an inner tube which is inside the tyre. And people get a bit twitchy about the thought of an inner tube and the consequence of having a puncture and things like that. Now, tubed or tubeless tyres, how many people as a percentage, and please do comment below, how many people actually carry a puncture repair kit with them? I would say 10% of riders carry a puncture repair kit for tubeless tyres, right? And if they have a puncture, they'll then get the kit out and read the instructions, maybe get it right, maybe get it wrong. But generally speaking, the other 90%, regardless of whether it's tubeless or tubed, will call the AA or RAC or whatever recovery service it is that you're associated to. Or if you've not got a recovery service, you'll phone one of your mates who's got a van, and then you'll put the bike in the back of the van and you'll take the van back to your home and then unload the bike at your home. And then what you'll do is you'll take the wheel off and you'll take it into a local tyre repair. Now, when it comes to tubeless tyres, you'll take it in for a repair and maybe, is it a 50% chance? Because I haven't had a puncture for years, to be fair. I haven't had punctures for years. I seem to remember having a puncture in 1989. That's a long time ago. But the point is, you then take the wheel in, you get it repaired. The guy that's going to repair the puncture says to you, actually the hole's in the wrong place and we can't repair it, so you go and get a brand new tyre. Okay? Let's just assume that's a 50% chance. The other 50% chance on the tube tyre is that they are able to bung it up and it's effective again. And it comes with no guarantee because of it being punctured and all that kind of thing. Now let's go to a tubed tyre like is on the T120. So when I go touring, I'll take a spare inner tube for the front and a spare inner tube for the back because they are different sized inner tubes. So if I have a puncture, I will call up the equivalent of the RAC when I'm over in Europe, and then they will take the bike with a flat tyre to whoever. And that whoever can then fix the inner tube and put a patch on, and then put the wheel back together. Or at worst, take my spare inner tube and put it and replace the punctured inner tube, where I can then take it and then repair the inner tube at my own leisure. So we seem to be getting into this process where people are now trying to convert their spoked wheels into tubeless tyres. The resin that you use is very hard and very, what would you call it? Airproof. But you've also got to consider that at some point, the spokes, which can be adjusted, may need to be adjusted at some point in the future to keep the wheel true and straight. That's why we have spokes. We have adjustable spokes so we can tighten them up or loosen them off or whatever we do, because I'm not a spoke specialist. But you can tighten them up and make the wheel true if it becomes out of true. And if you've sealed the rim to allow the wheel to take a tubeless tyre, as soon as you adjust those spokes, you're going to have to reseal it. Yeah? Just a thought, and I don't know how easy it is to reseal it once it's been sealed. The point of this is, don't get into too much of a frenzy regarding inner tube tyre wheels. Don't get into too much of a frenzy about it. I've had my T120 now for some 6 months. Went out to Austria on inner tube tyres. Had a great time, not a problem. I've had no problems. The bike's six months now, and there's over 4,500 miles on it. Yeah? It's just something to consider. So, if you're thinking about buying something like a T120 or a T100 or another bike with spoked wheels where the spokes demand an inner tube, don't get into too much of a frenzy over the fact that they have got an inner tube. I've had no problems recently or in the past. Like I said, the last time I had a puncture, which was on a tubeless tyre, I'm just saying, that was 1989, I think. I must have been the age of 22. So it's just a thought. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Are you in that position where you're considering making an inner tubed wheel tubeless? What's your experience on using tyres with inner tubes? Have you had any major problems? Is there a driver for you to change the inner tubed wheel to a tubeless wheel? Why are you doing this? All you're doing is adding extra mass to the wheel when you put this sealant on. I'm curious. I am curious. I'd love to know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Am I doing something wrong? Should I really be making my T120 tubeless? Am I missing something? I might be missing something. Happy to be corrected. But I can't imagine trying for other manufacturers kicking out spoked wheels on their motorcycle, on their range of motorcycles where inner tubes are an issue. I can't imagine that. And let's understand it. Inner tubes over the last 40 years, from the 1980s, let's say, and the inner tube tyres have come on in leaps and bounds, just like tubeless tyres have. It's not an old technology of 40, 50 years ago. It's moved on with the times. the compounds that we use in tyres are completely different to that of 40, 50 years ago. Just a thought. I'd love to know what your opinions are on this. Am I talking rubbish? Anyway, if this meant something to you, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you to the subscribers that are already on the channel. It really is appreciated. Please do subscribe if this meant something to you. Like the video. Please like as well if it meant something to you. Don't forget to give it a comment. Ride safely. Be kind to everyone. And I'll speak to you very soon. Eat healthily as well. I'll see you very soon. Thanks very much. Bye bye.